Alright guys, it's time to pull the motor out. Alright, it's coming along. The fan shroud's off, intake's off, or intake tubing is off, battery's out. I'm just putting everything in the back of the truck. It's really nice having that cap on there. Keeps everything nice and dry if it's outside. Alright, I got the accessory bracket off, set it off to the side so I can avoid having to bleed the power steering again. And I'm going to pull the water pump off, the intake, the coils, unbolt the transmission, disconnect the starter, unbolt the torque converter from the flex plate, unbolt the motor mounts, unbolt the headers, and then it should be ready to come out. Okay guys, now it's really almost ready to come out. All I got to do is unbolt the transmission and the headers, and then she'll be ready to come right on out. Alright guys, the engine is out. I ended up having to remove the grill and the bumper, but that wasn't too big of a deal. Those torque converter bolts were the hardest to get off because I put a liberal amount of anti-seize on, and even though it was just blue, or not anti-seize, sorry, Loctite. I think the cold is getting to me here. Blue Loctite. Even though it was blue, it still gave me quite a bit of trouble. But it's out. I'm gonna put it on the stand and clean up some of this mess here. Label some of these bolts, and maybe later today I'll pull the heads off. Alright guys, the engine is out. I got the hood and the grill and the bumper back on the truck. And then I should probably turn off this music so I don't get in trouble. And then I got the engine on the stand here. I gotta get another bolt. I got 3 holding on right now. It should be alright, but I definitely want to get that last one on there. But I misplaced that bolt. It's a really weird, it's kind of a weird size, not something that you usually have on hand. Can't think of the size. It's like M12 or something weird like that. But yeah, I'm getting these knock sensors out. I've actually never taken these out before, so I'm gonna go on the Handy LS forum and look up how to take those out, because I don't really know how to take them out. It looks like they're the kind of plug that you pinch and pull out, but I don't want to break them, so I'm gonna do that and then start taking it apart. Alright, I'm working on tearing this apart. I got the rocker arms off, push rods out. It's interesting on these engines, it's got this bracket here for the rocker arms. And, push rods all look pretty decent, pretty straight. Probably going to be replacing them anyway, just for peace of mind. This one here has got a slight bend in it, but a couple other ones have the same type of slight bend, but nothing major. I'm just going to go ahead and replace all of them. They're cheap, $30 for the set for like decent quality ones, so it's worth just going ahead and doing that. So now I just gotta pull this steam pipe off and I can unbolt the heads and we can see what's going on in there, and hopefully cylinders and everything will look good, because I don't want to have to get another block. I really don't want to pull another engine apart to use a block from another engine, so I'm hoping cylinders and the pistons and everything will look good. With the heads off, cylinders are looking really good. There's no ridge whatsoever. There's no scratches or any damage to the cylinders. They look really good. There's the lifter that was making the noise. You can see it's all gnarred up pretty good. That's the culprit right there. So yeah, I also got the oil pan off. Everything seems pretty tight, but I'm gonna go through it anyway since I have it out. It doesn't make any sense not to replace the rings and the bearings and stuff like that, and the timing belt or timing chain. Show you the cam. Cam's equally as bad. Check that out. That's what it's supposed to look like. Quite a difference there. It's been riding like that for quite a while. There was actually quite a bit of slop in the chain, and harmonic balancer was a little bit of a pain to get off, but special thanks to Bry over from the world of Channel CGE over there for lending me a 3-arm puller for that. That worked really well. It came right off. I'm gonna get new all new lifters. Rockers are all in really decent shape. I went through them all. They don't bind or anything like that. Everything's good there, and I'm not really too worried about them either because those are easily replaced. The lifter retaining things here, I'm not sure what you call them. These are in really good shape. I was thinking that possibly one was broke and that's what caused the lifter to get wiped out, but they all look good, so I'm not sure what the problem was there, but it is a fairly common issue with these motors. And the thing is, it'll run. I could have probably put another 50K on this engine with that lifter. They're pretty darn good engines. Alright guys, the pistons and the crank and the caps are all off. Got all the caps cleaned up. Got all the bolts labeled. Block's looking really good. All the bearings are like looking really good. But when I get the new bearings, of course, I'm still gonna plasti gauge it, make sure everything's good to go. This is super important, this part. The crank, the pistons, the cam. Most important part of the build, I think. That everything is within tolerances. I know plasti gauge isn't 100% accurate, but I know many people have used it to build engines and had successful results. So that's the way I'm going to go. I don't really have the tools to do a more detailed measurement, but I think plasti gauge is acceptable and will get me in the ballpark to have a successful rebuild. But anyway, the next step here is to clean everything up really good. It's going to take me a little time to do that. I'm going to get some engine degreaser and let it soak for a couple days. Just spray it on real thick, just let it soak, and then I'll scrub at it and get it nice and clean, have a nice fresh start. That's pretty important too, get all the oil passages cleared and whatever. Let me tell you, that crank position sensor was in there good. Did not want to come out. I ended up breaking it, getting it out, but that's okay because I should replace it anyway. I'm just really glad that I didn't have to replace that with the engine in the truck, because it would not have come out and the results would not have been good, because I had to hit it from this side, and obviously if it was in the truck you'd only have access to this side, and I'd probably end up having pieces of plastic fall down in there, and that wouldn't be good. But anyway, that's going to be the end of the first part of this build, part 1. And oh yeah, old work shirts make good rags. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next one. Keep you updated on this, and thanks for watching.